You'll see many faces at the Capitol, from the faces of excited visitors gazing at the building for the first time to the faces of legislators wearied after long nights of debate on the chamber floors, to the eager faces of citizens expressing their opinions in the Capitol Rotunda. While these faces are clearly detectable, some faces at the Capitol are a little more hidden. For example, there are two faces tucked away in a large mural in the Senate chamber. The modern depiction of the two men, both wearing a business suit, seems strangely out of place in this classical mural that depicts Civil War soldiers and angelic figures. On Capitol Quirks, we investigate the stories surrounding the strange and mysterious attributes lurking in the architectural details and paintings of one of Minnesota's most recognizable buildings, the state capitol. Some stories are fact-based, others are merely myths passed down throughout the decades. In this episode, we examine who these faces belong to and why the painter made the deliberate decision to place them in the mural.
These guys seem to be just almost like they're added, you know, they quite literally seem to be drawn in separately. They do.
Well, if you had to take a guess, do you know who those people could be?
Well, if this is artwork based on, Capitol, then they must be some kind of political figure of some sort.
Do you have any idea who those two men would be?
I don't at all.
The portraits of the two men are included in the mural that adorns the Senate chamber's south side. The mural, titled Minnesota Granary to the World, is by artist Edwin Blashfield, and it symbolizes Minnesota's growing economy. The woman in the middle of the giant oil painting represents Minnesota. The spirit of patriotism is represented on the right. On the left stands the spirit of agriculture. The mural also shows Civil War soldiers and nurses and agriculture workers. Along the left edge of the mural is where Blashfield inserted the two mysterious men.
When you look real close, you'll see behind one of the winged figures, a symbolic figure, you'll see their profiles kind of at the back of the crowd.
The profiles are of Cass Gilbert and Channing Seabury. While the men don't fit the symbolism being portrayed in the painting, Blashfield had a specific reason for including them. The artist included them as a way to pay homage to their crucial roles in the building of the Capitol. Seabury guided the development of the Capitol, ensuring that the monumental building would be constructed correctly and efficiently. Gilbert designed the Capitol structure and oversaw its construction. By depicting them, Blashfield was recognizing their contributions and following the European tradition where an artist sometimes honors patrons in a commissioned work.
Because Channing Seabury was the vice president of the Board of Capitol Commissioners and Cass Gilbert was the architect, he said in the tradition of the Renaissance painters, and you have to remember this is a building about the American Renaissance or kind of a rebirth of some of those architectural details. He said those master artists would take patrons, their supporters, and put them in paintings. And so he decided he should do the same thing for Channing Seabury and Cass Gilbert.
Brian Pease, Capitol Historic Site Manager of the Minnesota State Capitol, shares what the men may have thought to have their portraits adorned in the Senate chamber.
I think Channing Seabury was a little embarrassed to have him being portrayed there because, like a Capitol Commissioner, you're kind of behind the scenes, and so that's how you kind of want to be remembered, but they left it in there because Blashfield had said that's, an homage to you guys for making this building happen.
Do you know what Cass Gilbert would have thought about that?
I don't know if he really cared, and I think he understood that whole historical tradition of art, and it's a nice kind of remembrance for him as well.
The economic growth symbolized and its tribute to Cass Gilbert and Channing Seabury make the Blashfield masterpiece a painting that shouldn't just be taken at face value.